hello. If you're coming in, I'm Lara Jo. We're just chilling today, seeing what the energetic vibe is. Helps if I get set up, right? Instead of jamming out. Hello, hello. If you're coming in, I'm Lara Jo. We're going to do some reads today. Drop a hello. If you're in, how is your April Fool's Day? Was it a good one? Mine was iconic as always, right? Like my life always has iconic moments and we just go, oh, okay, that's how we do it today? Cool. So, I just learned to embrace. Hello, if you're coming in, it's Lara Jo, Siren Song Lover. We're going to do some tarot. Drop a hi. Let me know how your April Fool's Day is going. Mine's been quite an adventure, and it's still rather early in the day. So if you want to know what luck looks like, it's right here. This girl has 9 fucking lives. So, hello, come in. There is a reason there's a lot of Lara lore, because I have so many stories of just life. Crazy events. Hello. So, how are you, Rue? Come on in. Thank you for the gift. What number, 1 through 5, can I do for you today, Rue? Oh my gosh, number 3. So I had to go to court today. At least the attorney that I had to negotiate with was kind and fair and very good to look at. He was kind of my type. And I was like, ooh, and no ring. So I went to court, felt some way, which luckily this time was not fear. Okay, so for Rue, what is something you need to know, even if it's going to hurt your feelings? Let's see. And guys, if you're coming in, drop a number 1 through 5. We'll see what you need to know. Okay, the Fool. So Rue, this is being brave and setting out on a new adventure. Even if you don't know what the new adventure is, the Fool is asking you to take the leap of faith and keep moving forward. So for reconciliation, the Fool does not recommend reconciliation, right? The Fool is saying you have to try something different. Doing the same thing, like if you're trying to reconcile with someone and you guys don't change your approach, right? It's saying doing the same thing over and over again is the definition of insanity. So the Fool is saying, I don't know what's out there. And this is Aries energy with the Fool. It's like that exploratory, like, adventure is mine. So it's saying, even if you don't know what's out there next, be willing to keep walking. And sometimes, and I've had to go on the Fool's journey many a times, and you just go out with that, I don't know what to expect, and that's the best part of it. You walk, though, it's like walking faith over fear. It's realizing, like, I don't know what's out there, but it's better than what I keep trying to do here, right? So, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over with the same people, with the same actions, and expecting different outcomes, because it's never going to change. So the Fool is asking you, even if it hurts your feelings, to be brave enough to change your path, change your walk, like find, go on an exploratory adventure, right? And keep an open mind. Be excited for it. I know that's terrifying, but that's really life, is just walking. Like a lot of my path, I can't see or feel the floor, and it's just walking, 1 foot in front of the other, letting the path play out, because even though I don't know what's out there, I know it's better than what I've been trying to do here. So it's terrifying, but it's valid. You end up in so many different new experiences because you were brave enough to take the leap. So Hello, hello. If you guys are coming in, I'm Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover. We're doing just kind of reads, pick a number 1 through 5. Today is the Libra full moon. It's the pink moon. It's bringing in justice. So we will see people getting their karmic justice, right? You're going to see people, and there's a reason sometimes you're meant to be away from people, right? Like, if you're too close to someone and they're going down because they were a bad person, you're going to get hurt. So while it may feel uncomfortable that you're not with a person, it may be because they're doing bad things and they're about to get caught up. And your ancestors are trying to protect you from that. Okay? Anyway, Libra full moon, it's releasing, it's about contracts, karma, balancing the scales, right? The books always have to be balanced in life. If it's too far one way or too far the other, it can't be functional. So Libra is asking for the balancing of the scales. So if you're not with someone, that may be because you are actually about to get something better, or you may have like lessons to learn yourself. And karma and lessons, they're not punishments. It's just, what do we learn that we don't want to keep perpetuating because we don't like being in this icky situation? So, like, nobody loves shadow work, right? But you have to meet your shadows so you don't keep putting yourself in rooms that are causing you harm. Make sense? Drop a number 1 through 5. I am a huge Libra. I'm huge, ruled by Saturn. So karma and all of that is something I talk about. Contracts, right? Because they're important. They make our world go round. If you live in the United States, we are all built on contracts, but there are payments that come with contracts, right? So knowing that we all have to balance the books, all right? Drop a number 1 through 5. Should you be seeking answers? I'm Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover. I'm not answering personal questions. I do answer, like I say, 1 through 5. Be respectful to everyone in here. Please don't troll. Yeah. Flora, drop a number 1 through 5, please, babes. Okay? And there's no right or wrong answer as to what number you put down, but drop a number 1 through 5. We'll see what you need to know about this apartment. Okay? And happy April Fool's Day, right? Which I played a trick on my boss, April Fools, when I was pregnant with my kid, and she did not laugh at me. She did not think that was very funny. Okay. Okay, so Flora for deck 3. All right. So what is something you need to know, even if it's going to hurt your feelings? So let's see how this ties in. What is something you're going to need? What is something you need to know, even if it's going to hurt your feelings? Okay, so let's see what energy we have here, because there's a lot of stuff that kind of came out. So around this apartment, it feels like there's a lot of confusion and a lot of like, there's a lot there. So let me take a quick look at it. Okay. Okay. So we have here some energies, right? We have 10 of Cups in reverse. We have 5 of Cups. We have King of Wands. We have the Lovers and the Emperor. So this feels like it's a love match potentially with an one of you is potentially like a fire sign or an air sign, and you have to put things where they resonate. Okay, so I can't always give you all of like the clues. You're gonna have to put things where they fit and sit. Okay, and if it doesn't fit and it doesn't sit, that's fine. But what it is though, it's like it feels like you're trying to get this apartment with someone that is kind of headstrong or abrasive. The Lovers is saying this is a soulmate relationship, but they kind of fell on the floor. So what it's feeling like with this apartment, because 5 of Cups comes out upright, which 5 of Cups is like dissatisfaction, unhappiness. We need to change something here. And with 10 of Cups in reverse, hello, Tamara. I'm Lara Joe. Drop a number 1 through 5. We'll see what you need to know, okay? With the 10 of Cups in reverse, Flora, this is saying that whatever this apartment has going on, you're going to have to figure out if this partnership works with it, but it feels like going into this particular apartment potentially would cause some problems around a love affair and leave you kind of imbalanced, right? So with the apartment, if it doesn't feel quite aligned, if you get kind of uneasy feelings, then it's starting to say, okay, you know what, this just doesn't feel right. Let's wait for the next opportunity. Because when you tell the universe you want something, it'll bring you offers to see if you're willing to settle and compromise. If you say, hey, this doesn't feel aligned, I'm going to pass, then the universe will bring you another offer that may be better aligned. But it's saying, okay, if this feels like there's conflict and strife, which is what it feels like around this apartment, then it may be just letting it, like sitting and waiting, but also pursuing another opportunity, because this apartment potentially feels like troubles. All right. Hello. If you guys are coming in, drop a number 1 through 5. I'm Lara Joe. I'm not answering particularly personal questions, but what I am doing is when you put down a number, then we see what the question is attached with that deck, and we see what answers you can find from it. Okay. So Mike, I have Tamara first, and then Mike will do number 2 for you. Okay. And Deja, so guys, please be very patient with me. I am a one-woman, show. I always joke, like, when I'm trying to sing Lion King, I'm like, I'm playing all the parts with my kids, right? And I'm like, bear with me, right? Okay, so for Tamara, hello. And then, okay. So Tamara, for deck 4, and thank you for the love, guys. Where in my life am I overgiving? Hello. So Tamara, where in your life are you overgiving? Okay, all right. So the moon, and I love tarot because it speaks, right? The moon is in reverse. So, and 6 of Swords, right? 6 of Swords. I'm like, I saw it, but then let me look at it again. So, and today's a full moon, right, in Libra. So Libra is all about like contracts, balance, righteousness, but because she's Venus, she's love and war. So with the moon and the moon card in reverse, there's secrets coming to light today, kind of deal. Like you're gonna see something and you're gonna be like, oh, okay. So where in your life are you overgiving? There are things that you've been giving that are deceptive, that have been draining you. With 6 of Swords though, and 6 is the 6 of Swords is being moved to safety. Swords is mental. So where you've been overgiving, it's like you've been putting too much time and attention to something that's draining you, because you can't see there's all these attachments down there. This is coming forward. You're going to be okay though. Okay, right? So that's 6 of Swords. You're being moved away to safety, but there were things that you were giving to that you couldn't see. There was a lot of deception behind them. All right. Hello. Mike, you're up next with deck 2. Tamara, please let me know if that resonates. Guys, if you like my vibe and you want deeper answers, please come book a reading with me, right? Like we unpack a lot. We change life in real life, right? Okay, so for Mike, what is something you are missing from your energetic field? Okay, never ending in serendipity. Okay, Mike, are you... this is me calling you out because I feel it in me. It feels like you are running from something that is meant for you because you're not done playing. Like serendipity and never ending, it's like that there are people, places, things that you have to come back with, but you're like, no, I'm having too much fun. Serendipity though, it's like this is fated, babe. Whatever you're avoiding, whatever you're scared of, that is what's meant for you. Until you stand, okay. So never ending though, in serendipity, there's something coming forward that's like, it feels like a cycle, but it's like you're meant to either complete or break the cycle. Okay? And once we turn around and we look at something, it disempowers that thing that we're running from. Or that thing that feels like never ending. Because once we observe it, it starts to change in reality. So never ending is looking, how is it necessary for these things? But how is it also, it's like, it's for you, right? There are certain paths, there are certain destinies that only you can walk, and avoiding them or not recognizing them will cause, longer stuff. All right? So, okay, Deja with deck 3, potentially, yes. If it feels like it's a cycle that you're like, shit, like, because this is the part. When you start looking at it and you're like, if you've been in a relationship, say, for 5 years, right? And you're like, 5 years, this problem never changes, right? Because this is also the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and expecting different results, right? So when you're in a relationship for so long and you're like, I've been in this relationship for so long, and it just never changes. Okay, that's like kind of your serendipity and the never ending being like, if I want this to change, I have to be the one to change it. Hopefully that makes sense. That could be, is that like ending a relationship. And also, a lot of us are kind of ending relationships that remind us of like our parents or our familial units, because we're like, why would I keep repeating the same pattern that my parents have repeated? Or why would I keep repeating this pattern when I prove that it's not healthy for me or I don't like it? So, having a moment with yourself. Okay, Deja with deck 3. What is something you need to know, even if it's going to hurt your feelings? All right. Let's see. We got very chatty. Okay, so strength. This is very Leo energy. So strength, though, is taming your own inner beast. Strength is being able to be strong even when you want to run away. Okay, what is something you need to know, though, even if it's going to hurt your feelings? Face, and I kind of spoke with it before, is face that thing that scares you, because once you do, it loses its power over you. And that's when you face it head on, you can also see its weaknesses, right? So life is meant to be lived, but it's also meant to be faced so that you can move into healthier dynamics. All right. I know I'm going to say this name wrong. Busea, I'm sorry if I did. Hello. We'll do deck 4 for you guys if you are coming in. I'm Lara Jo. Drop a number 1 through 5. If you like my vibe, like, comment, share, follow me. Right? Where in your life are you overgiving? Busea, let's see what you need to know. Deja, does that fit? 7 of Wands, you have been building, and it's been passionate, but it's realizing like, okay, what am I getting? 7 is choices. So not chasing every passion will keep you having more energy, right? Like 7 is the choices that we make. Wands is our passions. So are you chasing too many passions and being burned out right now and being very selective in your choice? If anything disturbs your peace, right, it's too costly. So recognizing, is that passion actually bringing you something? Is it lighting you up? Or is it time to put things down so you can explore new options? Please let me know how that resonates. All right. I'm going to say Eli, and that may be wrong, but we'll do deck 1, yes. And if this resonates for you, please let me know, right? Make some noise. Even if it's like, right? Because once we identify something, then we can start working on it and changing it. Like, nobody ever loves it because I talk about shadow work and healing and addiction and doing the hard stuff, but it's like, if you want real results, you have to be willing to meet yourself in the darkness, because once you actually face it, you realize what the power is, how you can utilize it, right? Once you meet your shadow, that thing that you're afraid of, you can use it for your own good, right? Stop running from yourself. Okay. Ellie with 1, Eli with 1, however it is said. Am I in alignment with what I want? Let's see what you need to know. The pathway. Okay, so a pathway, if it's not open now, it will be opening, right? But looking for it. And sometimes it'll look subtle, right? And I'm channeling water. Think of water. Water will flow and create a path through the least resistance. So the pathway may come from something that either A, is kind of obscure because it's like just barely like eroding away, or B, you being persistent and looking for that path, right? If you know like there's a path right here, keep looking for it. But as far as being in alignment with what you want, the pathway is there. You're just about on top of it. So keep going, Bibs. Don't give up 2 feet from gold. You've done all this work, keep going. Hello. If you guys are coming in, I'm Lara Jo. Drop a number 1 through 5. We'll see what you need to know. Come on in. Does it resonate, baby? Let me know. If you like my vibe, tell a friend to come and see me. Right? Oh, gosh. Guys, happy April Fool's Day. The energy's wild. We're like, oh. And it's a Libra full moon. Hello. Which, if you've landed on my page, then you are dealing with a Libra Venusian High Priestess, so today is your day. Let's see what you need to let go to balance those scales, right? Drop a number 1 through 5. We'll see what you need to know. Also, guys, today is a beautiful day. If you want to wash the stagnant energy or any hexes that may have been tried to be sent towards you, today is a beautiful day. The first of the month, right, is a beautiful day for house cleaning. So you can take some salt and put it in your hands and then pour water and wash your hands. Let it air dry. That's washing away any ill intent, because salt is a great absorber of energy and electrons. So first of the month, you want to clear the energy, wash your hands with some salt. I like to do it outside, but that's because, you know, I got some weird housing issue. Hello. If you guys are coming in, I'm Lara Joe, dropping number 1 through 5. And can we talk about weird synchronicities today? So I had an incident, and a pretty big one, and as I was leaving town, the tornado sirens, they were testing the tornado sirens. I was like, oh, they're like driving me out of town here. That's okay, my chapter here is done. Hello, Krita, I'm Lara Joe. Drop a number 1 through 5, my friend, and we'll see what you need to know. Happy Wednesday, happy April Fools, happy Libra full moon. So I do it a little bit different. I do 1 through 5, because if I'm going to tap into it, we're going to actually ask we're going to ask for guidance and wisdom, not just like a yes or no. Because I can do a yes or no, but that's not, that's not real. So 1 through 5, we'll see if it answers your questions. Let's drive it through intuition on your part and mine. Oh. Hello. How are you? I'm Lara Joe. Drop a number 1 through 5. We'll see what you need to know. Happy Libra full moon. It's time to balance the scales. So that is what we are here to explore today. How do we balance the scales within us and within our own life? Very potent, right? Especially with Easter coming. When you guys look at the symbology of it all, do you recognize? Okay, so Kakuro, my love, drop a number 1 through 5. We'll see what you need to know. Because it's deeper than that girl being your girlfriend. Hello. I'm Lara Joe. Drop a number 1 through 5. We'll see what you need to know. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. We'll see. Let's see if I love decks out there. Okay. Okay, so what is something you need to know, even if it's going to hurt your feelings? So for Kakuro, and I know I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry, my little love. What is something you need to know about potentially having this girlfriend, or, life in general, right? Okay, so 8 of Swords. Eight of Swords is you need to get out of your head, right? You're fighting battles that are not necessary. So I feel like they like you, but you have to stop being your own enemy in fighting a battle that wastes your time and energy. Does that make sense, hopefully? So 8 of Swords, it feels like she potentially likes you, but you have to stop self-sabotaging, okay? Stop fighting battles that are not worth your time. Okay, good. All right, hello. If you guys are in, drop a number 1 through 5. I'm Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover. We're doing collective tarot. I love it. I have a kitty cat that looks just like this, and he is very rotund like this. It's very stereotypical, but my Milo looks like this. Hello, Kelvin. How are you? I'm Lara Joe. Drop a number 1 through 5. We'll see what you need to know. And guys, I went to court today. Green is just my court color, apparently. It was very, very nerve-wracking. I'm alive, right? Oh my gosh. At least the other attorney was pleasant to look at, and he was kind to me, so I must have 9 lives because I always seem to have the luck. Hello, I'm Lara Jo. Drop a number 1 through 5. Let's see what you need to know. I am incorrigible, right? I go to court and I find, lawyers cute. I'm just looking for my next husband. My last husband was pretty impressive. Too bad he turned out to be possessed by demons. He was awesome until he wasn't. Yeah, addictions overtook that one. Sadly, because he was really talented. Yeah. Kelvin, ask a number 1 through, so drop a number 1 through 5, and we'll see what you need to know through cards, right? And intuition led on your intuition from picking the card, right? Picking the deck. And on my intuition is reading for you. Let's see how reciprocity we can be, right? Yes, drop a number 1 through 5, Kelvin. Claudia, drop a number 1 through 5, please. Thank you. Thank you. I'm like, that's okay. People do it all the time, and I'm like, I don't know if they're trolling sometimes or if it's like a fat finger situation, because I got fat fingers where it'll be like, but I'm like, I sometimes, like, I identify as a teacher, so when people, I'm like, I feel like a teacher when I'm like, okay guys, sit down. Oh my gosh. And then I can't beat that cougar rap, like, men really do enjoy older women, and I'm like, guys, get the juice box out the fridge and get the fuck out of my house today, because, I have dated younger men, because there's a weird little fetish around that on there. Like, I'm not into that, but they are, and I'm like, no, guys, no. The downside of dating younger men when they are, like, lazy, I'm like, yeah, no, if I woke up before you and I went to bed after you and you still did less than me, we have a problem, right? Okay, so Kelvin, what is something you need to know, even if it's going to hurt your feelings? And then Claudia, you're coming next, baby, okay? Thank you guys for your patience and your humility and your humor. And also, instead of saying, I'm sorry, start telling people thank you. Like, if you show up somewhere, instead of saying, I'm sorry I'm late, say thank you for waiting for me, because that party doesn't start till you walk in. So you just honor, like, hey, I caused an inconvenience, but thank you for waiting for me. Now let's begin. Okay, Kelvin, 8 of Wands, you're getting messages. I feel, though, as well, you need to play and have fun again, Kelvin. Even if it's just a teeny thing, like, breathe for a second, because I feel you're waiting for messages, you're waiting for answers, yet watching that pot of water doesn't make it boil any faster. So please go out and do something, even if it feels silly. Please go out and do something. Thank you, Lexi. You know what? I'm feeling away because I went to court and I did not have a complete meltdown, and it didn't go awful. Like, I must have 9 freaking lives, because, whew. So that's that part too, is playing, right? Like, I went through a super stressful day today, and then seeing the humor in it, because as I was driving out of town on Town Square, like the clock bell was going off, like the bell that they have, and it goes off on the hour. And the tornado siren, they were testing the tornado siren, and today was kind of like the closing chapter. And I'm rolling out of town, and Gypsy Fleetwood Mac starts playing. So I'm like, oh gosh, not only did I escape a really challenging, scary, stressful situation, I did it while being sent out of town with the sirens going and playing Fleetwood Mac Gypsy. Like, if I don't have 9 freaking lives, I don't know what to tell you. But if you guys want to know how to have 9 lives and dodge danger, come talk to me, right? 8 of Wands, playing, having fun, remembering that life is not so serious. None of us are getting out of here alive. So, Calvin, I feel like there's messages you're waiting for, but please, while you're waiting for them, do something, like, find some way to laugh, because no day is promised, so you might as well get your fun in today, right? Like, no, tomorrow is not promised for any of us, so have your fun. while you're waiting for that response, because worrying about it's not going to make any messages come through faster. Please let me know if it resonates, right? Like, and something happened today. I was talking to someone, like one of my little friends, and I made him a creation the other day, and I touched base with him because of what I had going on, but also wanted to touch base because he's going to enact my creation today. And I was talking about something that I was like, intuitively I was led to, and he's like, that is actually what I'm considering and what I'm weighing with and what I'm trying to be respectful of. And I was like, hey, while I may not understand it or agree, but what I will do on my side is support you and give you the the psychological impacts, the physiological impacts, like what it actually looks like. So it was for me, it was like I was right on the nose with what he was struggling with bringing forth. And he just kind of looked at me, because he's far away from his own mom, and he has a hard relationship with his mom, and I'm far away from my son, and I have a hard relationship with my son currently because of family drama. And it's just kind of a bonding moment of reminding that when your mom's not available or that person's not available, someone will show up to help heal that ache and also be that role, right? So as he's grappling with these things, or they are grappling with these things, while he may not have mom, like I can show up to be like a motherly figure to be able to offer comfort, and vice versa, because while I can't have these conversations with my son, I know that the universe is bringing him guidance that he may be able to receive, right? Like even if I'm not there, I know that the universe will put someone in his path to help guide him. And it's humbling. Right, it's knowing that we are all interconnected and all supported, and even if we don't have that person, someone will show up to remind us of that person. Okay. All right, guys. Intuition is a hell of a thing. All right. Mania, my little love, drop a number 1 through 5. Claudia, I'm coming. Who else was behind Claudia? I know I missed someone. Please drop your number besides Claudia. Kelvin, I hope you have found, you found your vibe, you've got your tribe, you're feeling, all right? And Lexi, if you're in and you want me to read, let me know, babes, and we'll drop you in there. Okay, Claudia, where in your life are you over giving? And thank you, guys. Okay, King of Wands in reverse. So King of Wands upright, right? He's the king of the jungle. In reverse, this is feeling like you've given away your authority. You've forgotten your roar, right? So King of Wands in reverse, where are you over giving? You need to remember the power of your voice. And if you've never done, okay, Naira, my little love, drop a number 1 through 5. That being said, though, please don't spam my live, okay? Claudia, so this is saying, though, so lion's breath, I love to teach others lion's breath, and how that works is and it's stress relief, right? It's real simple, it's real easy, we can all do it right here. So it's taking a big breath in and then releasing, and I love to be over-exaggerated, right? And it helps release that. So it's going like, rah! But remembering your roar is within you. And if you don't let your roar out, are you really taking your authority and your power? Sometimes people do need to be reminded that you are an apex predator because it's your life. And you're that girl, you're that guy. All right? And Naira, yes, it is a free reading, but I'm answering questions like you pick a number 1 through 5 and we answer off the question that's on the card. Hey, Victor, how are you? It's got to be late for you, babes. Okay, Mania with deck 2. I'm coming, baby. You have to be patient. I'm one woman, right? I'm one woman, and I have a lot of people that want my time, my attention, and answers. So patience is a virtue, right? Yeah. Yep. Okay, Jesse, how we're doing it. Drop a number 1 through 5. We'll see what you need to know. And do not spam my chat. You will get kicked out for that. Okay? I have boundaries. I have 1 through 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Pick a number. 1 number. Mania, what is something you are missing from your energetic field? You're okay, baby. But I'm trying to, like, there are other people that have come in and they've done the right, like, they've done the protocol, like I've asked, and they've gotten answers. So, you know, when the teacher's teaching, we guide, but we give answers. Okay, so mending with mania was something you are missing from your energetic field. It's time to heal, babes. Okay? So mending is asking you, when are you going to finally be willing to sit down and heal that thing? Okay? And it starts with you, apologizing to you, to your inner self, to your little child, and being like, you know what, I'm so sorry I put up with all that. Okay? So what you need to know right now is sitting down and healing the relationship with you, but then also healing the relationship in life with the people that you want in your life. Okay? Hello. So, my name is Lara Jo. We're doing readings. If you pick a number 1 through 5, 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, we're answering questions. And Jessie. Hey, Jessie. I'm showing my age here. Okay. That's like from when my kids were little. Okay, in what ways can you release emotional weight that no longer serves your growth? As far as your test, your pre-exam, before we even start, failing an exam is not the end of the world, okay? Because you can always go back and study what you missed and retest. So please take all of that burden, all of that weight off of you. I know it feels like a big deal, right? It's not the end of the world. So taking that pressure, because here's the part, and I tell my kids this all the time, right? If you fail a test, am I going to love you any less? Well, no. I go, then, you know, like, is the end of the world going to happen when you fail a test? No. So please take the performance pressure off of yourself. That's the big part. But in what ways can you release emotional weight that no longer serves your growth? All right. And this, guys, this is why I ask you to be so patient, because when I get to you, like my time, my attention is with you. Right. So guys, drop a number 1 through 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and we'll answer from that deck. But please be very patient with me, right? As I tap in with each energy, that's like a connection. So being patient, okay? For Jessie. So in what ways can you release emotional weight? All right. The thinking woman, you're in your head, you're overthinking, right? Overstressing, overplanning. Breathe. A calm head is what it, with the exam, it feels like needing a calm head, not being like so freaked out about it, okay? Go out, I'm going to tell you what I tell others. Go do something and have a little fun. Okay? Julia Ann, you're coming next. And then we'll do Zuza. Okay? And guys, if I resonate, first off, if you're coming and you're wanting answers, please like, comment, share, but drive up my likes, right? Because that helps others. That helps that engagement. It helps sharpen that connection, and it gets people to see my face, right? Do we want people to see the Venus High Priestess? Like, yes, like I personally do, because, you know. Okay, so Julianne, in what ways can you release emotional weight that no longer serves your growth? Okay, that one came out pretty fast. The Garden and the Gate. So the Garden and the Gate to me is paradise. So what emotional weights, what around your paradise or your home or that thing that you want, that nirvana, doesn't fit anymore? Because this feels like you need to outgrow ideals that are no longer for you. So if the hustle culture is no longer for you, if that's what peace and calm looks for you, you need to start identifying what it is that you want and need, and then you need to start seeking that in your life. Please let me know if that resonates. So Garden and Gate, it's like you're carrying too much burdens about what it is that you find as happiness. And I need you to just simplify, right? Like start cutting out things, make life so simple. If you guys want big results, make shit simple, okay? Like it does not have to be extravagant. Like for me, when I'm working with clients and they're so overwhelmed, I'm like, you need to go pour yourself a cup of tea. Right? Like do the simple pleasures to bring yourself comfort, because if you can do it on a small scale, then you can do it on a bigger scale, right? And if you know how to soothe yourself, then you're going to be able to teach others how to soothe you if you're in distress, but you can also teach others how to soothe themselves. So finding your zen, finding your home, finding that peace. And again, it doesn't have to be extravagant. It just has to be like, and that's the other, when we're doing things, right? Even in rituals, like I try to teach simple rituals. I try to be simple in my rituals as too, because to get something to be a pattern, you have to be able to replicate it, right? If you want to replicate it, it has to be something that's doable. It's like people that want to start going to the gym, right? You have to choose a gym that it's easy to access. They have the hours that fit in with your schedule, because it's something that you have to be able to easily access. That's how you have success. So anything that you're building around your happiness, make sure it's something that's easily accessible, right? It's simple. A lot of times I teach people breath work because I'm like, you can't control anything, but you can influence. So like breath work is a free, simple tool. You can do it yourself, and it's a way to influence your autonomic nervous system, your fight or flight. It influences your blood pressure. It influences your heart rate, all of that. So these are simple tools incorporated into life to make a big difference, okay? I know that was a lot to say. Hopefully you guys caught that, right? Zuza, in what ways can you release emotional weight that no longer serves your growth? Guys, if you're coming in and you want answers, please drop a number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Like, comment, share, interact with me. If it resonates, please let me know, right? I love when people tell me my intuition is on, because, yeah. Okay, Brittany, my little love, please do me a huge favor. Number 1, drop a number 1 through 5, please. And don't be messy putting people's names all over the internet like that, right? Please. Yeah? Because then other people that want your man, they can go see all of his details. And make sure. That's the part, babes. Protect your peace. Protect your man. And most of these boys out here are thoughts, right? Thought, that hoe over there. So why are we getting stressed and pressed about a thought? Okay, 5. In what ways can I release emotional weight that no longer serves my growth? So this is your Zuza. Sorry, I got sidetracked slightly. Okay, appreciation. It's in reverse. So Zuza, what ways can you release emotional weight right now that no longer serves your growth? Show gratitude for what you do have. I know it feels like you have very little, but show gratitude what you do have, right? Because the more positivity we can see, the more we can attract in. Sometimes my gratitude's like, shit, I'm glad I have like food to put in my belly. There are days I'm like, oh God, I'm so grateful for this food. And then, we start seeing other ways to nourish and sustain ourselves. So appreciation in reverse is saying, start showing gratitude for the little things that you have so you can bring in bigger things. Right? All right, guys. If you're coming in, drop a number 1 through 5. I am Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover. Please let me know. Zuza, does that resonate for you, baby? And here's the challenge. I would rather say the uncomfortable things so people can have results and heal than people please. I want you to get what you need, not me, not what you want to hear. That part though too is, if you're trying to manifest, you need to get really angry and also save from disgust too. Like there comes a point, and this happened the other day, I had kind of this perspective shift, was that it was somebody who was in like the brotherhood, like they had knowledge, but it was a video that they posted. And they're like, no, sometimes, like, if you tell the universe I'm appreciative for little tiny things, it'll keep giving you little tiny things. So he's like, manifest from disgust. Say, like, if you're mad about your bank account situation, I am disgusted that my bank account situation looks like this. A, it's telling the universe I want to change. And B, it's actually addressing the problem that you have. And once you address a problem, then you can start working on changing it. So do you know what you do for filling that void? You start pouring into you. You start recognizing that you gave so much of yourself to someone else and that you are worthy of being whole. This is from personal experience. right? Like I'm 43. My whole life I've been told who to be, and there was a situation that, yes, completely unmoored me, created this whole huge void in me, and then I had to realize, like, I'm a really cool fucking person, and people leaving my life, that's a them loss and not a me loss. So you start recognizing, like, you were cool and whole and before them, and you will be cool and whole after them, right? Dina, this is that vibration of you, friend, have made it through 100% of your hardest days without anyone else, right? So people come and go, and I know that feels flippant, and I've had to leave behind people I never wanted to leave behind. Like, I had a once in a lifetime person, I had to leave them behind, because obviously if I were that to them, they wouldn't have left, and because they left, they showed me that I deserved better. I know who I am. I'm solid. I'm a cool person, right? I do a lot of really cool things. I have faced the most impossible and hardest days without anyone else to hold my hand. So people not wanting to be in my life or seeing my value is a them problem, not a me problem. They don't like me, cool. Get in line, take a number. Actually, we've had this conversation. We're going to form a fan club for people that feel like personally victimized by us. There's a female terror that I'm closely related to that we're like, yeah, like, we have so many haters, we might as well just form a little meeting group, fan club, sell some merch. If you don't like me, get in line, take a number. Or if you don't like me, raise your right hand, slap yourself in the face, because I don't really give a fuck, right? People that don't like me, it's because they don't like themselves, and if you don't like yourself, I can't fix you. Hello, hello. I'm Lara Joe, Siren Song Lover. Enon, how are you, baby? I have not seen you in so long. Life has been crazy, but I had the most epic fucking day today, because I always do. There's so much Lara lore about me, because I will have to walk into terrifying, scary situations, and I always come out just like, hey guys, what's going on? So I am not real, but I am real, but I'm not real, because I have some big life stitches, and it always works out. And that's also because I'm telling myself all the time, it's always working out. Guys, it is always working out in your highest and greatest good. And your brain believes what you tell it. So if you tell yourself, this is always working out for my highest good, like, I'm getting to where I need to be, even if I don't understand the journey, you will get to where you need to be. But you do need to be led by heart and not ego. That's part of it. You have to be actually living through truth, authenticity, and groundedness, versus it has to be like this, I'm so scared, any of that, right? Okay, so Dina, first off, you already know what your purpose is in life, but you have to sit down and do life review, right? You have to sit down and be like, what is a recurring theme in my life? What keeps coming up that I'm really good at? How does that tie in, right? It's okay. And the biggest part, if you really want to know what your purpose is in life, you have to get really comfortable with going back and sitting with little you, right? Like when you were a little kid, before the world told you who you couldn't be, you have to be willing to go back and sit with that little kid. But that little kid is going to be mad because they were damaged by the world. And then, you never actually went back to check on them. So if you want to know what your life purpose is, it's getting back to what you wanted to do when you were 5, right? Because that was the last time you were this, predate this magical, was when you were a little kid, because you didn't have that veil on what you believed you could do. Hello, Brooke. Drop a number 1 through 5, babes. Why is that unreal, Dina? Honestly, because while you feel it's unreal, you probably are meant to bring a story to the world. It may not necessarily be a model or famous actor. You might be a TED Talk. You might be a speaker. You might be one of the scribes or the not scribes, bards. You know, like back in the day, they had bards that would tell stories and like that would help guide wisdom, kind of, right? So that, but you say you're not built like that, but you probably walk into every room and dominate, right? So it's recognizing what is a recurring theme from childhood to today. So maybe you are meant to be a famous actor or famous actress, but you have to start believing it in yourself, right? It's your little niche, but it's in your little niche is going to be the thing that everybody else said, this is weird. That's what you're meant to do. Authentically, loudly, brilliantly, because that's what you came here to do, right? So, and you're built a lot tougher than you realize, babes. Okay? Because you want to be seen, because you're meant to be seen. Why do you keep hiding yourself? Okay, nobody, and I'm going to say this, guys, because this point has come up, and I'm like, yes, hell yes. And Dina, drop a number, babes. 1 through 5. Brooke, I'll do 4 for you. Nobody, when they say nobody's coming to save you, the flip side of that coin is no one's coming to stop you. So if you want to try to put on like your own little skit, right, do your own little production, and no one's coming to save you or help you, no one's coming to stop you from doing that thing either. Like, no one's coming to stop you from starting a podcast, even if you do that. And I've talked to people, and I'm going to be so for real for right now, because I've met plenty of people that talk about wanting to read and wanting to do things, and I give them suggestions on how to start, or how to start their channel, or how to start filming, right? But it's like, say if you wanted to be a reader on Facebook or TikTok. I'm just using this as an example, right? It starts with doing short little reads, like having a deck, and you can do it. Like I started a lot of times my beginning reads, like if they were just little reels, it was like sitting in my car at the school line waiting for my kids to get out, right? I would be sitting in line and I would just bring a deck. I would always have a deck in my purse, and I would just flip out my phone. I would have a little deck. If you go through any of my timeline, there's tons of them in my car, because like I say, that was how I started. And you can do it as faceless, but it's realizing like, where are the opportunities to do that thing? You are the one that's going to be able to see it though. Okay? That was a lot to say. Hopefully it was what you, and I can't say hopefully, like I know that whoever needs the message will receive it. Even if it's not one of you guys, whoever needs a message receives it. That's why I come out here, and I may not have a whole lot of people in my life, but guys, I'm a Libra, and balance is achieved even with just one, right? Like sometimes the scales are so fine, like so finite, right? So we'll talk about it. We'll come back. Let me answer Brooke's question, and then Dina will come back and talk about it, because I've had body dysmorphia too. So, and I have BPD as well. Right, so we're in the same. So it starts out little. It starts out faceless. It starts out like even with podcasts where it's like nobody hears you or sees you. You start with like a alter name, right? Like you start with like a moniker or something so that you can be private. You use an email that it's private. So you start putting out content that's relatively anonymous to those in your life so that you don't carry that weight. But as you do it, because we don't get good by studying to do it, we get good by reputation, right? Like I've been doing live reads for about 2 years. In July, it'll be 2 years. Like that's when I started, and I started over on Twitch, and I love my Twitch community for being like A1 day ones, because I started over there because I didn't have the followers on TikTok, right? So I started out on littler platforms, and and that was a beautiful way to start, because it was just like the only way we get good at things is by doing it repetitively. Right, Michael Jordan didn't become Michael Jordan because he just was good at it. Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan because he repetitively shot free throws, right? And that's the only way you get good is by doing it. And you have to start somewhere, right? And you 5 years from now is going to be happy you started today, right? Like you 5 years from now is going to be like, Dina, thank God you decided to be brave that one day. Even if it was just like you were so fucking scared, because I can't even tell you, like, I still, even reading tarot, I still get imposter syndrome sometimes. As a high priestess, I still get like, oh God, but that's the whole process. If you're not like, if you're so dead sure that what you're doing is right, you're probably not doing it right. Right? Like the things that are meant to be, you're going to question, you're going to refine, you're going to constantly be changing and honing your skill, honing that thing. So baby, don't feel scared about, like, don't be self-conscious. Like, realize we're all in the same boat, right? And we all started somewhere. So if you were to see me 5 years ago today, I was 213 pounds. Like, I do have pictures that I show from time to time. I do release those reels from time to time to show people where I've gone from being stuck, stagnant, heavily medicated, numb as fuck, praying for death every day, right? To, hey, life is really fucking hard and scary, but I'm facing it. I'm facing that without alcohol because I was a functioning alcoholic, married to a functioning alcoholic, raised by functioning alcoholics. So when I tell you, you can, in BPD, medicating BPD does not help because it's trauma. You actually have to heal, and I do a lot of healing with the core wounds with CPTSD because that's what our shit is built on, right? It's our body remembering shit that we don't need to keep holding on to. So BPD is not taking anything to medicate, it's being willing to sit with the wound and finally release it and say, I love myself and not enough to not keep hurting myself, right? It's not a quick fix, but BPD is that, like, it's a Band-Aid on a bullet hole, and that's what the trauma is. So it's actually, instead of trying to medicate it, that's like putting a Band-Aid on that bullet hole. You actually have to go, you have to pull the bullet out, you have to debride the wound, you have to let it heal from the inside out. It's painful, but that's the only way it heals, right? So like when people come work with me, we work on like the deep trauma wounds. We work on the deep ancestral, like releasing the addictions, releasing the patterns so that you can find healing within your body. When you start loving your body versus fighting your body, you have a different life, right? And recognizing that things change rapidly. Yes, so it is transgenerational, but here's like because I deal with people like that are young, that are around my kids' age. I deal with people that are older, like 60s, 70s, 80s. Like, I am that bridge to be like, okay, guys, like, I know what the older generation's saying and why they have their trauma, and I know what the younger generation's saying and they have their trauma. So I kind of come, like the Gen X's, the elder millennials come to be that bridge to help, because we are like we went from analog to digital, right? So we're helping people realize, like, hey, everybody has to do work on their side to help clean up these messes, but it starts with me. It starts with saying, you know what, this pain, this trauma, this ends with me. Even if it means like I have to get real uncomfortable, right? That's really what it is. It's getting really uncomfortable because like I'm dealing, Badger, will you please go find a different place to go chill out? Because you're just upsetting me right now. Okay, sorry. Dog is being a badger. He's being true to his name. And that's the other part, guys. We all have a name because we're true to our name. If you want to know your life meaning, look at what your name means. Like, my name has multiple different meanings, but one of them is Citadel, which is a guarded fortress. So when you start looking at what your name actually means, every meaning of it, you start putting together the picture of you, because you're not just meant to do one thing. You are a multifaceted, interdimensional being having a human experience. So have fun in this avatar while you're here. Do the thing that scares the hell out of you, because you won't regret it. Or even if you do regret it, like, we have to have experiences and scars in life to be able to say, like, yeah, we tried everything. I did everything that I could do. Right? Okay. Brooke, I know that was all really, like, a lot of info, but I hope, like, you know, and I realize, like, I may not always see my light, but other people see me shining and being brave enough. Like, guys, when I talk about, like, I talk about a lot of deep trauma that I've endured, that I've helped over, like, that I've worked through, that others are going through. So, like, when you come to me, we talk about addiction, we talk about... Badger! Badger! That's exactly... Get out of the kitchen. Badger. He knows he's not supposed me take a drink here really quick. We talk about trauma. We talk about family wounding. We talk about our parent wounds. We talk about mother wounds, father wounds, everything under the sun, because it all matters and it helps us all get to the deeper place. Like, if you invest in anything, invest in you. Right? That void you talk about, I had that void too, Dina, in the center of my chest. And the only way that I started getting through it is by investing in me, being willing to be brave and do the thing that scared the fuck out of me. Okay? And if I can do it, you guys can do it, because that's like I gave up alcohol, which was the hardest fucking thing, because I started drinking at 13 and I drank till I was 40 something, right? The day my divorce became final was the last day I took a drink. And that doesn't mean, and I have alcohol in the house. I give alcohol to the ancestors for offerings, but that doesn't mean that I haven't wanted to pick back up and use again, but I haven't. And that's over 3 years I've been sober. That doesn't mean that I can't slide, which is also why when I feel like drinking, I'm like, no, I gotta have that talk within me. Because then I sit down and go, okay, what within me is feeling like I need to medicate the pain? And medicating the pain isn't gonna help anything, because when I wake up in the morning and the house is trashed and there's you, and I'm like, what the fuck did I do? Because alcohol really does hijack you. When they say you became spirited, that's because alcohol is a soul-eating demon, right? And when we consume it, we give it permission to overtake us. So it's having that conversation with myself and being like, okay, I know I'm struggling right now, but let me choose a different pattern. Let me choose a different way to cope with this, because it passes. Emotions, 17 seconds. If you let the emotion 17 seconds to be able to roll through you, and then it'll be out. So that emotion won't take you out, but what you do need to do is have that endurance to overcome that scary emotion. Because once you let it roll, it releases. I know. Ooh, right? Okay, Brooke, where in your life are you overgiving? And then Dina, I'm coming. Okay? Yes. Investing in yourself. So, Brooke, this is financially Four of Pentacles, feeling like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. So this is with where are you overgiving? This feels like you've been paying into things that you need to cut back on, like people, places, things that are draining you. So watching your expenditures. Okay, so overgiving is, it feels right now that you're overgiving to things that maybe you can do without. I'm not coming for you, but it's also like becoming really focused and discerning in where your money is being invested into. Okay? I know it took me a really long freaking time to talk about it. And that comes out, though, because these came out with it, though, is the moon, 7 of wands, and 5 of cups is like emotionally leaving you feeling left out in the cold. 7 of wands, it was like too many passions. And the moon, there were things that you weren't able to see. So, and when you start cutting your attention from things, it becomes really easy to see where the leak is. Like Dina, for me, when I started cutting certain people out of my life and habits, I started seeing really fast like where things were robbing me and how much they were stealing me of my time, my energy, my, and my happiness. You start realizing when you stop doing horrible things, you start realizing those people only want you around because birds of a feather flock together, and they want others to enjoy, like, to be in misery with them. And that's a no thank you. Why do you want to hang out with miserable people? Okay. Dina, what's something you need to know, even if it's going to hurt your feelings? All right. Page of Pentacles. Someone's been playing funny with your money. Okay. So Dina, Page of Pentacles, it's like whatever this void was, it was like they were trying to get financial gains off of you. Okay. Guys, if you're coming in, please drop a number 1 through 5 if you're wanting answers. If you don't want answers and you're just viewing perfection and beauty, at least like my live so other people can enjoy. If you don't think I'm beautiful, I don't care, but don't be hateful. So Dina, Page of Pentacles, this is like that person that left that void in you was like they were looking for a come up, like a financial come up. So please, they wanted to spend your money. Don't come for me, but also recognizing like you're better than that, right? You deserve to be taken care of, not taking care of everybody else. We are not here to be mommies. Tag. Where in your life are you over giving from deck 4? The moon coming out sideways. And today is a full moon, so I love the synchronicity, right? And it's a Libra full moon, so we're balancing the fucking scales everywhere. The moon, you were over giving, and the fact that there were things that were being hidden that you could not see. You could partially see it, but I need you, my little love, to be a real big inspector right now. And it doesn't necessarily feel like you have to be a real big, but you need to like open your eyes, because I feel like there's something that's going to drop that's subtle that you're going to pick up on that's going to create like a, oh shit, I see now. And please let me know if that resonates. And the moon, like for me, I'm a huge dreamer, right? I'm a prophetic dreamer. I'm an astral traveler. The 3 days before the moon, the 3 days after the moon, my intuition is always just screaming. So if your intuition is screaming in the next few days, listen, right? Because your intuition is trying to tell you things that your egoic or human mind does not want to hear. So, yeah. Hello, hello. If you guys are coming in, drop a number 1 through 5. We'll see what you need to know. I am Lara Jo. How's it going? Good. And that's what you're meant to do. And we become a better us when we get everybody else's voice out of the way, right? Because other people will project onto you. So your goal is don't let other people's projections become the narrative of your success. Nani, my little love, drop a number 1 through 5, please. And so learning about yourself is learning how to become a better partner for yourself, but it's learning to say no to yourself and also to everyone else. But also knowing when to say yes to yourself. Like learning about yourself is learning when to say no to things that rob you of your joy. It's not always comfortable. Like I have to, sometimes I'm like, Lara, you need to sit in timeout. Like I put myself in timeout and I'm like, man, this sucks. But then I'm like, okay, no, if I'm going to learn myself better, I need to be able to know when to sit myself down and actually be discerning. Right? Be disciplined. So learning yourself is being disciplined with knowing what you won't allow and what you will allow and what is no longer for you. Uncomfortable conversations to have with yourself. That's so freaking necessary, right? Because if you don't know you, other people will tell you who you have to be, and that's not a good place to be. You feel kind of like a fire sign, potentially like an Aries. Like you don't like to be told what to do. So in that case, you need to learn who you are so that you are the boss, right? Nani, let's see what you need to know about, okay, Hermit and Ace of Pentacles. So Nani, little love, you need to, Hermit energy is like, instead of seeing about other people, you need to focus on you because there's something financially that is going to come in for you, right? But you have to go within. Yeah. Well, but the problem is when you shut out your emotions, you also don't honor where you're hurting yourself. And I'm going to use the example, like diabetics, they'll have what's called diabetic neuropathy, and they'll do, and I speak from, like, I worked in the medical field for a long time, and I was an x-ray tech for a long time. So let me give you this example. And if you want an answer, please drop a number 1 through 5, but please be patient because I want to give this example to tag. Because I really do love to like educate and help others and try and guide people in ways that you know, that others can, we get it, right? So people would come in and I would do an x-ray of their foot, like their foot would be mangled, their foot would be broken, bruised, and they'd be like, yeah, it doesn't even hardly hurt. So with neuropathy, right, when you lose circulation and feeling to the toes, so when we emotionally lose circulation and feeling, right, we do a lot of damage and we don't know because we can't feel it. So I would see people with completely, like I say, like feet were especially, because they would catch, the feet are easy if you can't feel it to do damage because you'll catch it on the side of the bed and you'll break something and they won't know until it becomes a real problem, right? So it's that when we cut ourselves off and we become numb, we can do too much damage. So when you don't honor your emotions, right, and where you feel like you're angered, then you go numb, but you do way more damage, because it's one of those, we think like, oh, we have no feelings, but we don't realize other people have feelings. And really, you do have feelings, but it's being brave enough to honor them and put boundaries around it. Because what it really is if people aren't respecting your boundaries, you remove yourself. Not as punishment, but you just say like, hey, there's a certain way I will and won't be treated. And then removing yourself is the way to go with that, right? So tag, imagine, and like I'm like a double air sign with water in all of that, and I'm like a hot fucking mess, right? Like on the outside and to the world, I appear like I have no emotions. On the inside, I'm fucked drowning. So I didn't have emotions though, truly, until I stopped drinking at 40, right? Like, because I numbed them. Because that was what it was expected of me. I was, as a girl, I was just supposed to take everybody, take care of everybody else, take everybody's abuse, and shut the fuck up and keep going until I died. So I just took that as like, okay, just gotta get through, one foot in front of the other. It's so shitty, but I gotta keep going, right? So recognizing like, no, my feelings deserve to be honored. And it starts with me honoring them and saying no. Yeah. I quit drinking, and this is the part. I quit drinking 3 years ago, right? So when people come to me and I didn't have rehab, I didn't have help, I definitely didn't have support. My family got really mad when I quit drinking because they could no longer use me as the scapegoat. Because even though they were the messiest motherfuckers behind closed doors, they like to use me as like the example, like, oh, she's, she's a real problem. So when I stopped drinking and I removed myself, I proved that I was never the problem. It was those messy bitches using me as the scapegoat and keeping me in that addiction loop. Like, people, abusers want to keep you in the loop so that they have someone as the fall guy. When you remove yourself, when you remove the pattern, the addiction, they have nothing to attach to. Hey, Scorpio, how are you? I was trying to sing like, hey, we're the monkeys. We're just monkeying around, right? I'm not a singer, and I don't give a fuck, because you either love me or you don't. If you don't love me, that's a you problem. Keep scrolling, right? Hello. I'm Lara Joe, teaching you guys how to be authentically you without the alcohol, without the family drama, right? Oh, yeah. I was given no other choice but to be strong. I can't, and actually being strong for me is being vulnerable and being soft. Like, that's strong for me, because I have a real hard time. I really do have a hard time being like vulnerable, admitting I need help, admitting that things are wrong, because nobody ever asks the strong one if they need help. And when you are the strong one and you say you need help, no one's equipped to help you or willing to step up and help you. Like, that's the problem. I've always had to be the strong one, even for the adults. And I didn't have, like, I was just winging it. Like, shit, we were 80s kids, right? Like, we were screening our parents' phone calls because they didn't have caller ID. So we were screening phone calls if it was like, at 5, right? Yeah. And that's also owning where we, things, people owning our mistakes, and also owning where, like, things that people think are like a downfall. I'm like, fuck you. Like, I own every part of my story. I own my part of addiction, but I also own where that was perpetuated by unhealthy family societal norms, and how that's a real problem and it needs to change on a systemic issue. Alcohol is a real systemic problem, and I have lost everything I love due to alcohol, to their own consumption of it, and due to my own consumption and the giving up of my consumption of it. Alcohol has affected every part of my life. I also worked in the medical field, so I've seen what happens when a drunk driver takes out a whole family, because those ER nurses, and they were not lying, right? And it's true, and it's actually physics, right? But ER nurses said that God protects babies and drunks, because neither of them tense up, so neither of them hurt themselves more, because when they impact, they're loose, so they don't actually get damaged. And drunks, like, that's the problem. Like, I've seen it with drunks where they will be brought in, they'll be shown video of what they did, and they will have no recollection of it. So it's one of those that in physics, when you look at physics, the reasons why, again, they don't tense when the impact, because they don't see it coming, so therefore they don't do damage by clenching. And that's as well too, when we are tensing in life, we think like, oh, this is going to be a huge impact. We actually do more damage, right? When you're falling, they tell you to kind of become limp and roll into it. So it's realizing like, okay, what damage have we done? And being accountable, being honest, and being willing to clean up our part of the road, our part of the street, right? And also being honest with ourselves and being like, when did I stay too long or put myself in compromising positions? When should I have been brave enough? When should I be angry with myself? That's so much of it too. Like, I get angry with myself. And also, like, there were reasons why I had to stay. And no one can criticize your journey because they have no idea what options you had to choose from. People always say, well, I would have done this. Well, you weren't in that position, so you can't criticize how I came out of it. You really, even with yourself, when you do the best that you can with the situation that you're handed, you really have to be like, I did the best that I could, and now that I know better, I do better, right? It's giving grace to yourself, giving love to yourself, owning when you fuck up, letting go when you don't. Telling people when, hey, that's not my problem, not my bag, you did that to yourself. That's a real thing too. Stop carrying the shame and guilt for others. And this for advice. How you feel about how someone else treats you, that's like, no one can tell you how you experienced or felt that thing. Right? So if someone doesn't like how your side of the events portrays them, that's a them fucking problem. Right? Like, and you'll see that classically with abusers. They'll be like, you can't tell people I said or did that. Well, then you shouldn't have said or did that. Right? If you don't like how people talk about you, then maybe that's... And if you aren't the problem, then also recognizing you aren't the problem. Right? Okay. I'm Lara Jo. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Alright guys, I am Lara Jo. If you want to drop a number 1 through 5, I will read for you. Well, and like, here's the part. I do not look like what I went through. If I like, the day that I sit down and release my whole story, like, people are going to be clutching their fucking pearls because there are a lot of people that owe me a lot of apologies for how they treated me. And a lot of it was just because they felt away, or they were just greedy, selfish, evil, sadistic motherfuckers. Like, I've learned that really inferior men and women love to make someone cry, and if they're a beautiful creature, they love to make women that they think are tiny, vulnerable creatures cry. I'm like, yeah, you should not come for me, because while I'm this tiny little creature, dynamite comes in small packages. There's a reason I'm not 5'2", and there's a reason why I still create a lot of impact. Like, okay guys, if you want to think like I'm the equivalent of a house cat, right? But house cats actually scare off bears, and we really, like, we have a cat that walks like a bear, and my kids will be like, Bobby or the bear. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, it's that part of, I'm never going to be quite domesticated, right? And cats really, like, you don't own them, they own you, and when they decide it's time to leave, they do. And realizing there's honor in that, recognizing being the masters of presence and being able to think quickly. Yeah. I'm willing to be kept house cat, but I will always want to be feral and run, and I will. But yes, house cats. And that's the other, house cats are like God's perfect ninjas. That's probably why they are so angry and so pissed off, because they are 8 pounds of something that can truly hurt you. And I speak from it. I have been seriously hurt by the cats, but I've also, guess. What would you guess if you had to? I can give you a clue, though. Yeah. Close, but think the opposite of Aries. Think about what today is. I have a lot of Saggy placements. Those are both my kids. So if you guys ever think I'm real, like, spicy, like, dragon-y, yeah, that's because I am the mother of dragons. I have fire sign babies. I also have an earth sign baby. It's kind of cool though, like, cause, and when you look at like zodiacs and how family is stacked, because between my kids and I, 2 of my kids and I are cardinal signs, and yes, we were always like the first in line to do the dang thing. If you want to know who the one is that, you know, the monkey launched into space with the helmet on them, that's the Cardinals. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. And, you know, my kid, she looks at me and she's like, thank God you were my mama. She's like, because no one else could have handled my crazy ass. I'm like, oh God, yeah. No, but I also, like, here's the other. The one kid's chart, I don't really, like, I don't go into people's charts if I don't have permission. So there's one kid that I don't have permission, so I don't go into his chart. I know, like, obviously his sun sign, because, you know, I was there for that. But I don't go real deep. But when I started pulling my daughter's charts, like, we all have some very heavy, significant Saggy places. And I'm like, no wonder we're such fucking menaces. And to prove just like my menace, like if you want to know a synchronicity for menace. So today, this town is rejecting me. It's been rejecting me since I moved here. I'm very much obviously like a huge energetic, like I fry the matrix, the grid here often, right? Because I'm just off the charts. Trying to contain electricity like this is dangerous, right? Caging a phoenix is dangerous. I'm about to be. So here's where it goes. Today was like kind of closing out the final chapters, the dregs, right? Real nervous, but as the synchronicities were perfect because when we moved here, within 2 months of us moving here, and we had something happen within 2 weeks of us moving here that was scary and shocking and never happened to us, never happened to this town. Within 2 months, we had a tornado come. They hadn't had one that big. So I was like, no, there's something about us and things being, like, we do some things here, right? Like, we make some things just bust due to pressure. So, to close out this chapter, I'm rolling out of town. I'm listening to one of my favorite bands, like, synchronistically, but the tornado, like, they were doing, because it's the first of the month, it was right at 11 as I rolled by the courthouse. I'm never down there at that time, but we're kind of an old southern town. They have the bell go off at the hour to announce the hour. So it went off. They announced that they were doing the siren testing. I'm rolling through town, closing this chapter with the tornado siren testing going, with the hair in my wind, closing out this chapter. And then the next song is Gypsy by Fleetwood Mac. And I'm like, if we do not see all the synchronicities of the tornado warnings, like I am a fucking menace because I roll heavy, I roll hot, I roll like noisy. And when I leave with a statement. Oh my God, and I'm not from here. And where I come from, I'm not used to tornadoes. So like my kids and I were not on board with that tornado shit. And actually we'll tell another, because I have stories. There's SirenLara for years, right guys? Like I live a big life not on purpose. Like I just show up and shit happens. So when that tornado happened, and this town had not seen that big a tornado before, that catastrophic, and it really impacted the town. And it was a shock for us and my kids because we had never, and we lived in an apartment at the time. It was very traumatic. But tornadoes have followed me since that point in this area. And so many weather disturbances around me. And I'm just like, hey guys, maybe a king of cups shouldn't piss off a queen of swords because he needs smooth skies, and I'm real pissed off and he refuses to listen. So don't piss me off if you need smooth skies. There were some other king of cups, like water sign masculines, that were pissing me off that needed smooth weather for their work. And I was like, I'm throwing the weather. I have so many rain videos, also just torrential rain, and it's just been bananas. Learning myself, finding myself, discovering all this has been quite an ordeal. Like I say, the synchronicities today were not lost on me. It is about time though to uproot from here, but I also know when I uproot, like I take a lot of the energetic grid with me, and they really fear that, and they don't want that. And that's too fucking bad. They should have treated me better. Yes, like I'm okay. I'm like a chaos, weather, divine, and they're the woodpecker. I can see the woodpecker reminding us, right? Keep pecking away at your task. Even if it seems redundant, eventually you'll reach gold. Move into that. So it's weird because I wasn't raised in this type of environment. And yet I identify with like Appalachia spirits, the lore, the people, the folklore. Like I find in my spiritual side, I tend to be more folklore. Like I like the signs or signing, and I'm like, yep, nope. Like there's certain shit, and my kids like they laughed at first, and now they fucking listen. They're like, Mama said like this thing's going on. They're like, it sounds woo, but then they'll pay attention, they'll follow the guidance, and they'll have success. So I'm like, yeah. Okay, so the last time we had a tornado warning, and I knew because I was emotionally distraught. And mind you, the week before, a huge tree fell on my house. The day after Christmas, a huge tree fell on my house. And then the next week, I was having car problems. I was upset and distressed. Uber dropped me off, and as we were pulling into my little section of town, the air felt weird. I was like, this feels like tornado weather. So I sat and I talked with the Uber driver. We had like a little ministry because that's what I do. Her and I were talking, and then she's like, yeah, I gotta go, like, and I'm like, yep, nope, you need to get out of here right now. So she pulled up out of my driveway. As soon as I came in the house, unlocked, walked in the house, the tornado alarm started going off. And then the tornado alarms outside started going off. So the one on my phone went off. Like, literally, she dropped me off, pulled up out the driveway, walked in the house, stopped, like, dropped everything, warnings going off. And outside sirens. So I went and stood outside when the sirens were going off. I've learned, I'm like, hey, if it's my day to go, it's my day to go. It'll be an honor, right? I've been chasing, death is my counterpart. It's been chasing me since I was a little kid, but he can't take me because, I got some things to do. Devil's scared of me. Yeah. I am the human equivalent of a tornado. So if you ever get to meet me, I am the human equivalent. I am like a little Tasmanian devil. That's why I was very disappointed. Hey, Badger, 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 Badger. I was very disappointed when I, tried the whole cougar thing, and he was like lazy as hell and didn't have as much energy. And I was like, what's the point of dating a younger man if I have more energy than him? And more ambitions, and like, what are we even doing here? Get the fuck away from me. Like, I went to bed after you, I woke up before you, I did more things than you, I put in more work than you, and you're tired, and I'm tucking you into, and that was like the other, he would get into my bed and then like snuggle into the things that I wanted or that were like my place. And I was like, so I told my kid, I'm like, you know what, feel bad for any future stepfather that you have, because if he breathes wrong, I might just like see his way out the door. I've been single so long that people like saying the wrong thing. I'm like, you can just, thank you. This is the conclusion of the interview. No. Okay. All right, guys. I'm gonna go. I need to go take care of animals' needs and my own needs. I'm Larry Joe. If you like my vibe, please come book a read with me. Please donate if you can. I'm in really bad situations, so any little bit helps, like really bad situations. Like, yeah, but that's okay. All right, guys. Oh, man. Thank you. Please be safe.